to follow your lead, I suppose. Go into some guilty fit over a woman that stupid idiot hit when she got into the car drunk. Well, I wasn't the one who was driving. I wasn't the one who lost control, and I wasn't the one who hit her. So please don't offload that bull on me.
That's really the best you can do, Julie? It's all bull?
Oh, stop being so dramatic, Lindsay. You're just as involved as the rest of us. She probably never would have come if you hadn't asked her.
Are you kidding me? Lindsay was the reason she came. Oh well, if they're good enough for Lindsay, then they must be all right.
Yeah, you know that's true, Lindsay. So you can stop talking like you're not a part of this.
A part of what, Jen? I'm no part of anything that happened after she got into the car.
The party is all I meant.
I know what I did, Jen. I really don't need you to poke your finger at me to work that one out. At what point did I try to deny that? I didn't try to deny it to you, and I'm not going to deny it to the police either, when they asked me.
What?
What are you talking about? Deny what?
Okay, I was wrong. You're not pathetic. You're certifiable. You're a nut. What do you have, a complex? You want to admit to something? Admit to being a loser, Lindsay. Murder's way out of your league. Just what is your problem?
What are you talking about? Murder?
Oh, relax, Jen.
She has no clue what she's talking about.
Really? I was thinking while you were having your little victory dance. I was trying to work out what we were really talking about.
Julie?
No. This is great. Let's listen, Aaron. Let's see what we're guilty of. Come on then, master lawyer. Let's see you make your case. You were in your mood long enough. What did you come up with?
What do we have to tell the police?
You don't have to tell them anything. Nothing, Jen. Is there more for them to know?
Really?
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 Oh, for Pete's sake.
Let me make sure I understand this. I tell you the girl Libby hit while driving drunk is dead, and none of you feel guilty about that.
No.
No.
They look at Aaron.
I don't know.
That's enough. That's enough for right now, Aaron. I've been thinking.
What a miracle.
You're right. Libby came to the party because I asked her. She was always nervous around you, Julie. She knows you hate her. If you'd invited her, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. But you didn't. I did. I was just trying to remember why I would have done something like that. And do you know, I have no idea. I don't know why I did that. And now this has happened and I still don't know. I guess I thought it would be funny. Funny. I asked her. Jen offered her house. It was Aaron's idea and Julie did it. If none of us had done any of those things, Libby would be home right now. And some woman we've never met would still be alive. I don't even know her name. Are you still going to stand there and tell me that we have no hand in this?
I don't know. Julie?
Julie starts as if to speak, but we see the first flash of Lindsay's anger.
Oh, for crying out loud, Jen, think for yourself. Face it. The only reason you had any part in this at all is because you didn't want to fall out with these two.
Who died and made you God, Lindsay? Why don't you shut up and mind your own business?
No, I don't think I will. I think someone needs to be in your business, Aaron. I don't think you're doing a great job of that right now.
I don't remember asking your opinion on any of this.
Lindsay.
Shut up, Jen.
What are you yelling at her for? See what you're doing? You're turning us against each other. Great job, seeing as we really need to be putting up a united front right now.
Oh, really? I thought your view was that none of us had anything to worry about anyway. What do you care? Think, Aaron. Just think about it. You know what we have to do.
We don't have to do anything. Jeez, how many times do I have to tell you? They've got nothing on us. It's all down to her. They can't prove a thing.
That's true, Lindsay. Even you've got to admit that. Legally, there's nothing.
Legally? That's another thing. Why are you all lawyers all of a sudden?
Hey, you're the one talking about right and wrong.
Actually, I don't recall saying either of those words, Aaron. That's you talking, not me, but okay. What we did was wrong.
No, it wasn't.
Julie.
Aaron? Shut up, Lindsay.
I'm talking about responsibility. I'm saying I can't think of one reason why I did what I did last night, and now a woman is dead and a girl is in jail, and I'm saying I'm responsible. And so are you.
Lindsay, we did nothing wrong.
Jen, if you really think that, then why did you come here in such a panic?
I mean, legally.
Oh, come on, Jen. What's the difference?
The difference is police, Lindsay. The difference is a record and court and jail.
Libby's in jail.
Yeah, good. Because she was drunk and she got behind the wheel. She hit a car.
That's really enough for you? That's really enough for you to feel fine? Legally, Libby's the guilty one.
I don't have that sort of trouble, Lindsay. You don't understand. I can't. I just can't. My dad his job is...
Can't you hear yourself? Making fun of Libby like you were a moment ago? You are no different. You are exactly in the same position, aren't you?
I'm not the one in trouble.
You got that right.
Look, you want a legal reason? I mean, you want to know how your little defense really sucks, Jen? How about this? Lindsay got her to come to your house. I suggested the alcohol. Julie put it in her drink and she didn't know. She kills a woman, which they'll probably call vehicular homicide. They'll ask her where she got the alcohol, which puts your dad in the mix, Jen. Sorry. Then they'll talk to us and we'll tell them what happened.
No, we won't.
I will.
Lindsay will, and so we all will.
Lindsay?
You are both such losers.
And none of that matters, because we'll be the accessories. We'll be the accessories to homicide before the fact.
You don't know any of this.
Well, yes, Julie, I do know. I know because my mom's a lawyer, and she talks about this stuff all the time. Even if she wasn't, there are so many examples of legal shows on TV that the police don't even have to be the police to work it out. And whatever you think about your dad, Jen, I can tell you my mom will take it 10 times harder. Because she'll try to help us because she's my mom. And she'll help because, just like us, she won't admit the truth to herself or to me. And she will lose. And I will have to carry that around with me. That's my responsibility.
There is a moment between Lindsay and Aaron. A bond, however fragile, has been reconnected. Julie senses the shift in ground.
You're both crazy. No, you're worse. You're pathetic. You and Libby and the whole lot of you. You live your lives so freaking blindly, expecting and receiving the next step when mommy and daddy or the teacher or the popular girls think you're ready. Do you think for a single minute that Libby Pearce would be sitting here talking about her responsibility if you were the one in the cell? Do you? Jen, are you still connected to reality? You know she wouldn't.
That's right. She won't. You're right.
There is something in her unhappiness that does not suit Julie's purpose, yet she pushes on. Jen sits, crestfallen.
I think you seem to have forgotten why we all agreed to start this whole thing. I think you're missing the point that the stuck-up little goody two-shoes sitting in that jail cell would never lift a finger to stop you from dying if she thought it might injure her reputation. You wanted a way to show her. We agreed. Teach her a lesson for once. Show her what it was like to be on the other end of those pinched-up giggles and half-turned faces. Let the whole school look at a couple of goofy pictures and crack that prissy mirror forever. Let the princess see what everyone sees. We agreed. And now, because something beyond our control has happened, well, now you all discover some weakness you think must be a coincidence, and it's doing what you've been trained to do. Take the blame and offer some kind of apology. I'm sorry, Miss Pearce. We're just bad girls who don't like your little Libby, and it was just a bit of fun. Please, it won't happen again. Is that it? Do you think that'll work, Aaron? Because I don't. And you know what? I would rather the police come in here and pull all my nails out by the roots than say anything nice about Libby Pearce. Right now, I don't think I could even fake it if I wanted to. I don't think I've ever hated anyone in my life as much as I hate her now. And what's more, that's the way you all felt too.
You are so full of it, Julie.
Oh, what would you know?
I know you're full of it, and what you're saying is wrong.
What is this, Lindsay? Another lecture? Another moral lesson from the social superior? You know what? Do me a favor and shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up. I'm not at all intimidated by you, so don't act as if I'm one of your so-called friends who is. I can't claim to be your superior in this, I know that. But at least I'm not hiding behind some lame poor me excuse. I already told you I have no idea why I joined your little party. Who knows? It would be funny, something to talk about, boredom, whatever. The point is, stop trying to explain yourself out of the truth.
Poor me? What's that supposed to mean? I never asked anyone to do.
No, you never asked, but your whole life assumes it. You walk around with that burden of injustice strapped to your back like a kick me sign, and then you get ticked off when someone actually kicks you.
Oh, okay. I get it now. It's my fault that stuck-up snobs like Libby Pearce stiff down their nose-job faces at me. Oh, how stupid of me. How stupid of me to hate them. When actually, I should be kissing their bony little backsides and thanking them for pointing out my little shortcomings. You know what? I learned something this morning. I started off hating Libby Pearce about as much as I think I can hate someone else. But you know what? She's really not the problem. She's in jail. But she is still what she always was. You're the one who's really starting to tick me off.
It's me, it's Libby, it's whoever. When are you going to acknowledge the truth in this whole pathetic little situation?
Again with the truth. Well, I'm sure we're all dying to hear.
Julie, your hate for Libby is a drop in the bucket compared to all the hate you reserve for yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you, Oprah. I guess that explains everything there is to know about me.
No. You don't get to shrug that one off. If you don't want to be a daytime talk show joke, then for goodness sake stop acting like one.
Excuse me?
Oh, come on. You slink down the hallways at school doing your best to strike everybody as being dark and mysterious. You insult all the people who try to get near you. You throw your weight around in here without even stopping to think that this might all go another way.
Where do you get off talking to me like that?
I'm just trying to stick to the truth in this whole sorry mess. If you need anything else to prove my point, ask Aaron and Jen why they aren't leaping to your defense. You were all play acting the great humiliation of Libby Pearce. Well, come on then, what's next? How does the play end?
I can't believe a loser like you has the freaking nerve to...
Jen finally breaks her silence.
Oh, because it's true, you idiot. God, you're so... Man, I'm such a jerk. You're right about one thing, Julie. Libby Pearce would not raise a finger to help me if the roles were switched. I'm tired of feeling like this. Why should she? I've been sitting here trying to think of one good reason why she should, and I can't come up with anything. And it's not that she's superior, and it's not because she's mean, Julie. Some of them might be, but not Libby. And that's just something you deal with. No, she would not raise a finger to help me for the same reason that none of you would.
There are tears in her eyes as she finds this revelation.
None of you would either, would you?
She looks at them, almost imploring. Finally, Aaron breaks in to speak, but Jen cuts her off.
Would you? No, and why would you? I'm the entertainment, aren't I? I'm always playing catch-up for the last joke you laughed at. I'm the one who won't say no to her house being used for the stupid game. I'm the one you talk about when I'm not there. Oh, Jen's got a big mouth. Oh, let Jen do that. Oh, don't tell her that. It'll be funny. And what do? Give everyone what they want. Well, except my parents, of course. And me, now. And you, Julie.
What?
What?
I've spent most of my school life trying to be what other people want, and especially you, Julie, for reasons that I now really can't understand. Because of me, my dad will probably lose his next election, which is in 2 weeks. How can you sell a local politician when a daughter currently in the courts for this? I don't know how I'm going to go through all of this, but I can do this. Screw you, Julie. This is wrong, and I'm going to tell them what happened.
Jen leaves. In her wake, Julie sits, broken, in Lindsay's chair from the beginning. Lindsay looks at her for several long seconds. then leaves in the same direction as Jen. Julie and Aaron study each other's faces for a long pause. Julie looks away. Aaron exits. Julie starts to speak, hesitating.
Aaron?
But Aaron is gone. You just heard Libby, Pearce Drinks, written by Tim Mogford and produced by the Thief River Falls Community Theater. Actors included Emma Anderson, Eleanor Brixton, Allison Caro, and Elise Kolsness. The show was engineered by Mark Johnson in the 90.1 studios. Please stay tuned as Mark Johnson interviews the cast members from this show.
Pioneer 90.1.
We're here with the cast of Libby, Pearce Drinks, which you've just heard. And first of all, just go around and give your name and which character you played.
My name is Allison Caro, and I played Lindsay.
Emma Anderson, and I played Jen.
I'm Ellie Brixton, and I played Aaron.
I'm Elise Kolsness, and I played Julie.
Now, is this the first time that you've done something serious like this, drama-wise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
For
so.
plays, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've all been in the Thief River Falls Community Theater,
Yes.
doing kind of fun, upbeat stuff for the most part, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sound of Music was a little. I mean,
A little more intense, yeah.
Parts in that, but
So when you first all read this, and maybe I'll start with Elise, because Elise plays Julie, who is kind of the ringleader, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you sort of set a trap for Libby, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you first read that, is that something that you could not necessarily identify with
Right.
yourself, but just know of that type of character who might do something like that?
She comes across as such a mean and terrible person who did do terrible things, but on the inside, she's hurting herself. So she's definitely an interesting character to portray.
Let's go to the other side then. Lindsay, played by Allison Caro. And Lindsay was sort of the voice of conscience and feels responsible and feels terrible for all of this and kind of pushes the idea of doing the right thing and telling the truth.
Yep.
So what did you bring to that role? Like, what kind of background did you bring to that?
Oh man, I have a lot of background. I was actually raised in a Christ-centered home, you know, so a lot of what I was taught as a kid was, it was very, you know, like, just doing what's right. So it was very easy for me to be Lindsay, I guess, because, you know, if I were in that situation, I'd be saying the same thing. You know, like, this isn't right, what we're doing isn't right, and what we did isn't right, and trying to justify it is just awful. So I mean, it was a really easy character to play, because I could relate a lot to just who she was.
And Emma, we'll go to you and we'll talk a little bit about bullying and peer pressure. These are important parts of this play. I've always heard that maybe with each passing generation, students, young people get a little nicer to each other. Do you think that that's true?
I don't personally think so. You gotta find like the right friends and just kind of trusting them. And I think like with each generation we get a little bit meaner because we have social media. We can hide behind a screen, so we don't have to go up to someone and be mean to them. We can do it on social media.
Because in this play, they're trying to put Libby in an awkward situation because they see her as being sort of snooty, right?
Yeah.
And so they want to bring her down a peg by taking pictures of her after they get her drunk, right?
Yeah.
So social media factors into this too, even though it doesn't explicitly say that. I always just think that there's a lot more awareness and understanding of like bullying in schools and peer pressure and things like that than what there was a couple of decades back. But you're saying that with social media, we're actually taking it up a notch.
I think so, yes.
We definitely are taught more about bullying because, you know, there was this whole, it was almost like a movement to get rid of bullying in schools. Even though we're aware of it and we're taught not to bully, it still happens. Obviously, we know more about it and we know that it shouldn't happen, but there are still some people out there who they don't have that conscience of like, I shouldn't be doing this because, you know, they're dealing with stuff and they want other people to deal with stuff. I don't know exactly how to word that. bullying has become less of like a physical thing or like straight to someone's face because of social media. We've almost gotten around the traditional sense of bullying and started this new era of bullying that's strictly online.
And it almost cuts deeper, you know, like, I mean, at least for us. I mean, I know I've experienced it because to the other person who is doing the bullying or calling the names, like we have Snapchat, it goes away. They don't have to worry about it anymore because it's gone. You know, whereas before you'd say it to their face.
Young people are bullied. They're taking incoming fire, but they might not even know where it's coming from. So it can be sort of disorienting that way.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, we obviously have a lot of anonymous things on websites. So someone makes a comment, you won't know who it is.
Yeah.
It kind of gets you almost like paranoid walking through the halls of school because you're like, oh my goodness, what does this person think of me? What does this person think of me? Because there's this person that I don't even know who it is, and they're saying these things about me.
At school, you really don't see a lot. You don't see the bullying. And I think that that's what almost makes it worse, is that people can't see that bullying is taking place, so they can't help. And the only way that someone who's being bullied is going to get help is if they ask for it. And that's really hard for people. So they keep looking online and seeing what people are saying about them, and it just keeps beating them down, and they don't know how to ask for that help.
You can't just go up to someone that, you know, anonymously and say, you know, hey, knock that off, because you can't see them do that.
And you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, it'd be different if you saw like someone push someone up to a locker, but you don't know who it's doing, who is saying it.
And I mean, they always tell us, it's even on my shirt, be an upstander, don't be a bystander, be an upstander. And we're always told to, you know, like if we see something, do something about it.
Yep.
But we can't.
Because we don't see it.
Yeah, we don't see it. And if we see it online, we can show them, right? But if it's anonymous, they have no idea who it is.
Or we just scroll through it because it doesn't affect us personally.
That is true. Yep. Which is kind of sad.
It's this culture that's developed over the years as technology has gotten more and more in the forefront of our daily lives.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with the cast of tonight's Radio Readers Theater. We just heard the play Libby, Pearce Drinks. And the cast is 3 seniors and 1 freshman. Elise Kalsness, Allison Carroll, Emma Anderson, and Eleanor Brixson. And Eleanor, you're the youngest of the group, right? The rest of the other 3 are seniors, and you are freshmen, right? So do you have a different perspective on this, or maybe you can think back to middle school and
yes.
Yeah? Okay, tell me about it.
Like in bullying terms?
Okay.
So, if someone was ever being like really mean to me, I guess it would mostly be like on Snapchat or Instagram. You could just like swipe and hit block, and you wouldn't really have to worry about it more. But then after that, they like talk about you behind your back, and then you hear about that from other people. So I feel like around, at least like for my grade, feel like it's more face to face, because it's less like someone texting you and saying mean things, or someone anonymously saying it or to your face. It's someone telling someone else who tells you, and it's kind of not fun hearing about it. Like, it makes you a lot more self-conscious.
In the years before social media, a student could go home at the end of the day and kind of be done with that. And maybe they would worry about going back to school the next day, but with this, it's 24/7.
Yeah, there's no safe place, because it follows you around everywhere you go.
I'm on
It's
my
in your
phone all
hand.
the time, so like I could get a notification on Instagram and I could see someone saying something to me. Not a fun time.
Because it's not like, okay, you know, someone's mean to you on the bus, well, then you can get like a ride from a parent or a friend, or, you know, asked to switch buses, so you don't have that situation. But with social media, you can't do that.
The cast of Libby, Pearce Drinks is in the studio after recording tonight's play. And the play deals with a high school student who is coerced into drinking. She then causes a tragic accident. And you all have some thoughts on the topic of alcohol use among underage drinkers.
This is a perfect example of unexpected consequences due to drinking.
And I love how this play takes it from the perspective of the people who did it to her. Like, she's not even
Libby isn't in the play at all. And she's the one who's in trouble, and she's the one who all this bad stuff has happened to. But it's from the perspective of the people who made her drink. And then that goes to peer pressure part of it too. I just thought it was so interesting that they took it from that perspective. You don't really hear about how it affects the people around. Like, you don't see how it affects the people who didn't get in trouble, who didn't have something happen to them. And when that really does have an effect, maybe not as intense as going to jail or whatever, but it has a real internal effect on people.
And then I guess, like, getting back to your question, like with the DARE program, like how that goes, I guess it really just like shows the consequences of like what it does to your body, but like not the people around you, what could happen with this. It just kind of shows like consequences towards you, but not to people around you.
Yeah.
And like they told us, oh, you might get like asked to do alcohol or like smoke cigarettes or something. And then I always thought, oh, that's never gonna happen to me. This is dumb. I don't need to like think about this.
Yeah, and I think they teach it like a little bit younger, like 5th grade, because you think, oh, like that's not gonna happen to me. But then you get to middle school and you're like, oh, this is real. Like, maybe I should have paid a little bit more attention when.
Right.
And like the consequence of Libby hitting the other car, you know, her losing her life, the other woman, you know, that's a huge consequence because you have to live with that for the rest of your life.
Emma Anderson, Allison Carroll, Elise Kalsness, and Eleanor Brixon, the cast of tonight's Radio Readers Theater entitled Libby Pearce Drinks. It was written by Tim Mogford. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for sharing your thoughts.
For more information on the Thief River Falls Area Community Theater, check us out online at www.trfact.org or join us on Facebook. From your host, Robert Burkell, I wish you good evening and thank you for joining us.